You have been lied to. Your entire life is a carefully constructed lie. Take a look at your bank account right now. Look at your electric bill, gas prices, and the cost of food at Walmart this week. How does it feel? Exhausting? Draining? You did everything right. You went to school, you took on student loans to get that degree, you got the stable 9-to-5 job, and you dumped money into a 401k hoping to retire at 65. And the result? You are still living paycheck to paycheck. You are still exactly one accident or one layoff away from total bankruptcy. Meanwhile, there is another group, a tiny fraction, the top 1%. They don't play by your rules. When the economy crashes, they get rich. When inflation spikes, their assets double. They are buying $500 million yachts while you are debating whether you can afford another Starbucks coffee. Do you hate them? Maybe, but hate won't pay your rent. The problem isn't that they are evil. The problem is that they know the rules of the game that school never taught you. And today, right here, we are ripping that veil apart. These are the 7 habits, the untold rules of the ultra-wealthy that they desperately do not want you to know. We start with habit number 7. This is the craziest one and the main reason the American middle class stays poor. It is using debt as a weapon. Listen closely. Your parents taught you debt is bad, pay off your credit cards, buy your house with cash if you can. That is advice for poor people. To the elite, debt is not a burden, debt is money. Debt is the only kind of money that is tax-free. Imagine you earn $100,000 a year in salary. Congratulations, the IRS is going to come knocking and take at least 30% of that before you even see it. But Elon Musk or Donald Trump, they borrow billions of dollars from banks to buy real estate or acquire companies. And guess what? That borrowed money is not taxed, not a single cent. When a wealthy person wants to buy a $10 million office building in Manhattan, they never use their own cash. They use other people's money. They put down a small deposit and the bank covers the rest. Then they rent it out. The tenants, hardworking people like you, pay the monthly rent, and that money pays the bank loan for them. After 10 years, they own a $10 million asset, positive cash flow, and they didn't sweat a second. And you use a credit card with 25% interest to buy an 85-inch flat-screen TV to watch Netflix. That is bad debt. It bleeds you dry. The rich use good debt to make money. They use debt to short the US dollar, which is losing value every single day. While you hold cash and watch it evaporate due to inflation, they borrow money to buy real assets. As inflation rises, the value of their assets goes up, but their debt stays the same number. Basically, inflation is paying off their debt for them. They are betting on the collapse of the currency, and they are winning big. But debt is just the first tool. To truly master this game, you need to understand a completely different mindset about how you earn money. If you are still trading time for money, you have lost before you even started. Habit number 6 will show you exactly why your college degree might be the worst investment in history. If habit number 7 regarding debt shocked you, habit number 6 is going to make you furious because it exposes exactly why you work 60 hours a week, but your savings account never moves an inch. Habit number 6, ownership over salary. Look at your paycheck. The first line is gross income, but the real number that actually hits your pocket, the net income, has been slashed without mercy. Why? Because you are a W-2 employee. In the American tax system, W-2 employees are the easiest sheep to slaughter. The government takes your taxes before you even get to spend a dime. You earn, the government takes its cut, and you try to survive on the leftovers. You are effectively working for the government from January to May every single year without realizing it. But the ultra-rich, the 1%, they don't take salaries. They own corporations, LLCs, C-Corps, and their rules are completely backward. They earn money, they spend money on everything they want, and then they pay taxes on the tiny amount that remains. You want to buy a new Ford F-150 pickup truck? You have to use post-tax dollars. That means you need to earn $80,000 just to afford a $50,000 truck. But a business owner? They buy that truck as a company vehicle. They use pre-tax dollars. That truck becomes a tax write-off. Basically, the government is subsidizing their luxury lifestyle while punishing you for your hard work. The U.S. tax code is over 70,000 pages long, and 99% of it is written to reduce taxes for owners, not for employees. If you don't own something, a business, a brand, or real estate, you are just fuel for their machine. But owning assets is just the first step. What truly separates a self-made millionaire from a world-class billionaire? That brings us to habit number 5, buying time. The poor sell time to get money. The rich use money to buy time. You think painting your own house, mowing your lawn on the weekend, or doing your own taxes is saving money. No, that is a poverty mindset. Every hour you spend doing $15 an hour work is an hour you wasted not making $1,000 an hour strategic decisions. Jeff Bezos is not packing boxes in an Amazon warehouse. Elon Musk is not tightening screws on SpaceX rockets by hand. They understand a concept called labor leverage. They build a system where thousands, even tens of thousands of people sell their time to them. A wealthy person has the same 24 hours in a day as you, but by hiring 1,000 employees, they have 8,000 productive hours every single day. They have bent the laws of physics regarding time. While you were stuck in traffic on I-95 during rush hour, exhausted from a long day, their army is still making money for them even while they sleep. They don't try to do everything. They are obsessed with one question: who can do this for me? They buy other people's lives to build their dreams. Does that sound cruel? Maybe, but that is how capitalism works. You are either the buyer or you are the one being sold. But hold on, money and time are not enough. To stay at the top of the pyramid, you need a weapon that is far more dangerous. A weapon that lets them stay one step ahead of the crowd, knowing when the market will crash before it happens. You think they are just guessing? No, they have something that you will never see on the 6 o'clock news. Have you ever wondered, why do politicians in Washington, D.C. consistently beat the stock market year after year with returns that would make Warren Buffett ashamed? Are they financial geniuses? No, they simply possess habit number 4, information asymmetry. Here is the brutal reality. By the time you hear breaking news on CNBC, Fox Business, or read it on Twitter, it is already old news. To the ultra-rich, news is not information. It is advertising. It is bait. When Jim Cramer screams at you on TV to buy now, the sharks on Wall Street bought weeks ago, and they're getting ready to dump their shares on your head. You are not an investor. You are exit liquidity. You are the one arriving late to clean the dishes after the party is over. The 1% do not make decisions based on public financial reports. They make decisions based on late-night phone calls, private dinners at golf clubs in the Hamptons, and draft legislation that has never been published. They know when interest rates will hike. They know which company is about to get a billion-dollar defense contract from the Pentagon before the ink is even dry. They play with their cards face up, while you are blindfolded. That is not investing. That is legalized insider trading written by the very people who make the laws. And if you think you can beat them by analyzing candlestick charts on Robinhood, you are dangerously naive. But making money is one thing. Keeping it is a completely different, bloodier battle. America is the most litigious society on earth. A slip and fall on your driveway, a minor car accident, or a bad divorce, any of these can strip you of your life savings. That is why habit number 3 exists: protect assets at all costs. The Rockefeller motto is the golden rule here: own nothing, control everything. If you search for a billionaire's name in public records, you might be surprised. On paper, they look almost poor. They don't personally own the $20 million mansion. They don't own the private jet. They don't even own their main bank accounts. Everything belongs to trusts and shell companies located in Delaware, Nevada, or Wyoming, or even further away in the Cook Islands or the Caymans. Why do they do this? To become invisible. When a greedy lawyer wants to sue a rich person to make a quick buck, he runs an asset check. And if he sees a tangled web of interlocking LLCs and impenetrable trusts, he gives up. You can't get blood from a stone. While the middle class leave their assets exposed under their own names, making them easy targets for lawsuits, the ultra-wealthy have built legal fortresses. They create a maze that no judge wants to enter. They understand that in this world, justice often favors the side with the better lawyers and the more complex asset structure. You are playing checkers, but you only know how to move the pawn. They are playing 4D chess with the entire board rigged in their favor. And once you understand how they make money, debt, how they keep money, taxes and structures, and how they manipulate information, you'll realize all of it stems from one single thing inside their brains. A psychology so distinct it is terrifying. A cold ruthlessness they call focus. The next part will send shivers down the spine of the weak-hearted. We are going deep into the mind of a predator. Have you ever heard the saying, "Nice guys finish last"? Parents and teachers taught you to be obedient, to fit in, to be polite. That is excellent advice if you want to be a model employee who gets a shiny certificate at the end of the year. But in the world of absolute power, being a people pleaser is a cancer. This leads us to habit number 2, ruthless prioritization. The ultra-rich don't play the game of making friends. They play the game of alliances. Look at how CEOs in Silicon Valley fire 10,000 employees in a single morning via email. You call that inhumane? They call it optimizing operational costs. They have the ability to completely detach emotion from logic. If a project isn't profitable, they cut it immediately. If a partner or even a longtime friend becomes a liability holding them back, they cut ties without hesitation. They understand a harsh rule that you are afraid to admit. Life is often a zero-sum game. For them to win, someone else often has to lose. For Amazon to become a trillion-dollar empire, thousands of small businesses on Main Street had to shut their doors. They accept the role of the villain in someone else's story to be the hero in their own. They don't seek to be liked, they seek to be respected. You spend your day replying to texts, going to acquaintances' weddings, and grabbing coffee just because you're afraid of offending someone. You are letting the world tear your time apart. But them, they say no to 99% of things. Their focus is razor sharp. Every action, every meeting must serve the grand vision. And where does that grand vision come from? It comes from habit number 1. This is the scariest, most powerful habit, and the only thing that separates those who change the world from those who just live in it. Habit number 1, the God complex, reality distortion. Look at Steve Jobs, look at Elon Musk. When they said they would put humans on Mars or create a phone without a keyboard, the world laughed at them. Experts said that is physically impossible. But when a normal person hears the word impossible, they stop. But the elite 1%, they view current reality as just a rough draft that can be edited. They suffer from a condition psychologists might call delusions of grandeur, but they have the competence and the will to make those delusions come true. They do not accept circumstances. They bend reality to their will, a reality distortion field. They believe social rules apply to you, but not to them. They believe they were chosen to rule, to lead, to create. It is an extreme arrogance, but it is that exact arrogance that allows them to borrow billions, to challenge governments, and to bet everything on a single hand. You see a wall and you turn around. They see a wall and immediately think of how to smash it, tunnel under it, or buy the land the wall sits on. They don't live in a world of "it is what it is." They live in a world of "it will be what I say it is." So the question is, do you dare to think like them? Or do you want to stay safe in the warm cocoon of mediocrity? Because now that you have seen these 7 habits, you cannot pretend you don't know. The cage door is open. The wolf inside you is starving. Now, you stand at a crossroads. Just like Neo in the Matrix, I have just offered you 2 pills. If you click off this video right now and go back to scrolling mindlessly on TikTok, you have chosen the blue pill. You will wake up tomorrow in your same old bed, drive to a job you hate, pay taxes to feed the bureaucracy, and believe whatever the TV tells you to believe. That is a safe life, a predictable life, and a mediocre life. But if you are still here, listening to my voice at this very second, I know you have chosen the red pill. You have seen the source code of the Matrix. You now know that debt is a weapon, not chains. You know taxes are a penalty for ignorance, and you know that reality can be bent if you are ruthless enough. But mark my words, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential. Action is power. Knowing these 7 habits without applying them makes you nothing more than a walking encyclopedia, full of facts but going nowhere. This system is designed to keep you poor. They want you compliant. They want you scared. They want you to be a battery powering their machine. The only question left is, will you continue to be a sheep waiting to be sheared, or will you sharpen your claws and become the wolf leading the pack? Do not just watch this video as entertainment. Treat this as a declaration of war against mediocrity. The revolution begins in your mind, and it begins right now. If you are ready to step out of line and join the top 1% who dare to own the game, I want you to do one thing right now. Scroll down to the comments and type, "I am the 1%. Don't hesitate, type it out. That is not just a comment, it is your first contract with yourself. And if you want me to keep exposing the darker secrets of money, power, and global manipulation, things YouTube usually tries to censor, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because the next video will be an even bigger shock than this one. The game has changed. Your move.